Hello. Thank you for responding to my email. I want you to know that I do a lot of video work. I want you to know that I do that it's a lot easier for me. I am blind in one eye and going blind in the other. This is a lot easier for me than doing a lot of dictating and a lot of typing. And I hope you understand. Besides, I think it's easier for you to get to know me in my face and my eyes. That's why I included a video in my original email. I think that's a good way to learn to get to know each other anyway. And I want to do it. It's easier for me and it's better right up front that you get to know exactly what I look like and what I sound like anyway. I think it gets things off to a good start, and I hope you agree. I like to do things right for restaurants from the very start so we can get to learn to know each other right up the very front. I appreciate your honesty on everything you talked about. Everything you talked about in romance. You talked about in sex. Everything you talked about. I take what you talked about sexual activity even one step further. I actually forbid sex before marriage. So there'll be no sexual activity in anything with any woman I date unless we are actually married. So you don't need not worry about that with me. That's my strictest. I'm very strict with that. Although I love to be affectionate, and I think a lot of romance needs to be between a man and a woman. So there will be no sexual activity between any woman I'm dating unless we are actually married. So don't need to worry about that. So rest assured, there won't be anything there. As far as distance is concerned, okay, that'll be fine with the technology that's available nowadays with Skype, with webcams, with telephones. What is distance anyway? We can see each other through the vision with video phones and with the technology that is available today. Distance is what is distance? Distance isn't anymore. So I think that to find out if genuine chemistry actually exists, I think you actually do eventually have to touch. But we can get to know each other pretty well through the technology that's available to us. So I think we're okay with distance for a while. And with the cost of traveling is not what it used to be, although it's still a whopping cost. A trip between here and the Philippines is a pretty expensive trip, at least for me it is. But I think you're okay in distance as well, so I agree with you there as well. So we can learn of each other quite a bit just through chatting. As far as Yahoo Messenger and speaking that fashion, chatting is okay. I think I prefer Skype. Do you have a webcam? Do you have Skype capabilities? I do prefer to chat through Skype. And if you have a webcam, I do like the idea of chatting in this fashion where we're actually looking at each other. Find a time when it both works for us. I realize when we have a time difference, like you and I have, that might be a bit of a challenge. That's one challenge when distance is a factor, because when there's 7 or 8 hours between our time zones, then that turns out to be a challenge perhaps. Outside of that, I think we're okay. I won't do videos all the time. Well, you tell me how you feel about this, because this is how I like to communicate. I like to talk. If you really prefer that I write, I will write. Okay, but talking is much easier for me, and when you've got a time zone, you've got work schedules and so on, this is much easier to put together. So I hope you enjoy this, because it's kind of a factor, and I think it makes it easier for us, and it's great. I love to do it. I'm kind of a talking kind of guy. So talking about religion, and you talked about the Church of Christ. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You may have heard of us as the Mormons. That's our nickname. That was a nickname that was just kind of given to us. It's not our official name. You may have heard of the Book of Mormon. You may have heard of Joseph Smith. Anyway, that's the church of which I'm a member, and that is something of which we will talk of eventually. And as we get to know of each other, and it's important that we learn of each other's religions, I guess. But we can talk about that a little bit more as we converse back and forth as we're actually talking. Getting to know each other. You talked about pen pain, learning of pain, and getting victory of having pain. You are so mature. It is so nice to have to learn from somebody who's mature. There is so much game playing on the internet. So many babies out there. There is so much immaturity out there, and it's nice to converse with an adult that understands life and what it's about. I'm delighted to talk with you, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm 56, so I'm still quite a bit older than you are. I hope that's okay. I think we're close enough in age. I think our maturity level is close. I think that we're going to be compatible anyway. I think maturity level is close enough. But there's a lot of things that you have to reach a certain age before you understand it, and that is that you have to hurt in life to understand the goodness of it. You have to suffer pain to understand pleasure. You have to lose to understand the value of winning. And you have to suffer to understand enjoyment. And you don't really understand love, genuine love, unless you lose it, lose love. These are things that you have to be mature to understand. Sometimes you got to reach the 40s or 50s before you really understand that. You have to really understand it. And sometimes you got to get to be old, like older, not old, older like you and I before you get that. This is what people in their 20s and 30s, and we love them, but they haven't learned that yet. I don't know how many women I've heard say, I don't want to get involved in another relationship because I don't want to get hurt again because it hurt so badly. And you have to, because you'll never understand genuine love until you feel genuine pain. You know that. I know that. That's because we've experienced it. Well, I'm going to go. I've got to get to bed because I've got to go to work. And yes, I have to work on the Sabbath this week because of the holiday here in America on the 4th of July. The client for whom I work says, you want to have that holiday off, you got to work on Sunday. That's what they're making me do. So, so I got to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find it informative.